A very good morning. It's Mark here. It is 11 a.m. Eastern Time, which is 11:08 Eastern Time, 4:08 GMT. A little later than usual. European sessions just come to an end. Let's have a look at the dollar index to see how it's performing. We'll start on a daily. Bear in mind, yesterday the dollar strengthened, the dollar index strengthened. There's yesterday. Continuing today, a little bit stronger. Looking now at resistance at 106.85. Let's zoom in on the hourly. And that's good. I drew this in a little while ago. Look how it held out. Amazing. Here's the ascending trend line. I drew this in actually when these red candles were here before this big green candle, but good to see that it tested it. Used it as buyers used this as a springboard for a bounce all the way up and looking at intraday resistance at 106.85. So the uptrend from yesterday has continued and still sitting within the range of 106.14 and 106.86. Pretty much between 106 and 107, looking to test that 107, strong US dollar to start the day. Let's have a look at our S&P. Get that up. And the S&P yesterday, pretty level. It closed yesterday pretty much the daily. It closed the same place for the last couple of days. Have a look at this. We had the sell-off, we know, and then Monday, Tuesday, beginning of this week, S&P, we saw a fight back, not much of a fight back, two small green candles. Yesterday, a doji, in other words, closed where it opened, the same as the previous day's close, and sitting in that same area today, sitting in this tight range, 5876 on the downside, 5954 on the upside, still within this range, as you can see. A little bit on the front footing, a little bit of a green that you can see there to start the US trading session. Let's zoom in on the hourly, and there you can see fighting its way back, looking to test that resistance at 5957. The big number here is 6,000. Sellers have been able to maintain and keep price action below that all-important 6,000. There it is, but buyers trying to fight back today. Let's have a look at commodities, starting with gold. And another green day, 1, 2, 3, 4. Higher highs, higher lows. Since gold bottomed out here at 2539, it's been a steady climb, took out 2,600, and now buyers aiming at 2,700. I'm just going to show you what I looked at and found pretty interesting on the weekly. I put in a fib retracement level to ascertain this pullback, this sell-off over the past 2 weeks. How strong has it been? Is it going to turn into a fully fledged reversal? Well, I put up my fib retracement tool, which from my low, which I put in at 1,800, I thought that was the right place to start, all the way up to 2,788. And here it is on its way down. And as you can see, it got held up at 2,546. The first significant fib retracement level of this big move up, the 38.2%, that would be at 2,400. We're not even close to that yet. We're at 2,600, you can see, looking for 2,700. And the 50% retracement all the way down at 2,200, way down here. So just putting in perspective that, yes, it was a big sell-off, but bear in mind how very strong this trend was, and a natural breather was to be expected. Let's have a look at oil, which had been sitting in a pretty tight range, as you know, between 72.5 and 73.5. And there it is, right after a pretty strong sell-off down to 70. That's on the weekly, sorry. Let me get the daily up. That didn't look familiar. That looks a lot more familiar. I put up this descending trend line in yesterday. It's broken above there. It's sitting at 73.65. Buyers looking to break this resistance at 73.70. It's been as high as 73.99 today. It's testing that 74 level. On the front foot, and oil is strengthening again today. Gave up that little bit yesterday, but it certainly is looking on the front foot. Bias is up, and we're looking at higher highs again today. If I zoom into the hourly, there's that range, broke above the range, and there at 73.50 is where we're waiting right now. Sellers will want to see a break below that resistance level, that intraday resistance. Buyers will look to use this as a platform to bounce up from the 73.50 to go up and 74. All that we haven't looked at today is Bitcoin. Nothing's really changed, taking a little bit of a dip you can see, which only seems to increase demand, and buyers have stepped in all the way so far every time there's been a dip, as you can see. If we look at the daily, new record highs today, 98,200, all the way up there, higher highs and higher lows. Good trading, guys. Keep that discipline, and see you at the end of day.